It is Super Draco 380, and we're back for stage 47 of Build the Battleship Bismarck. Today we're going to be assembling the forward superstructure. So we got a lot to do in this one, so we're going to jump right into it. We got all these parts we're just going to dump out. We got some photoreal parts, a sprue, and some loose stuff. So first up, we're going to be fitting the life rafts and the compasses. The compasses are all 4 pieces on the plastic sprue. But before that, we're going to attach the life rafts to the Admiral's Bridge and, well, the upper mast deck. Well, I guess they're the same thing since they're attached together now, so they're going to go in that rectangular slot. And that one on the other side. So we're going to drop in some glue, and as with the other life rafts, you want the wider part at the very bottom. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Alright, next we're going to be fitting the compasses. Now these compasses, the first 2 fit into a fairly awkward spot. So on that triangular piece of graded deck on the Admiral's Bridge, there's going to be a little slot that the compass will peg into. So we're going to go ahead and remove those from the sprue. All 4 compasses are exactly the same, so it doesn't matter which you place where. However, they've got that protrusion, and the instructions say for the first 2 that are on the Admiral's Bridge, you want that protrusion pointing towards the rear of the ship. I guess the stern. I'm going to use my tweezers to get in there and drop it in there. We want to make sure it's nice and level. Then we're going to flip around and do the same thing. Now I'm just dipping the bottom of those straight into the glue because they're in an awkward spot, so this is just simpler in the short run. So that's the first 2 compasses. The next 2 will go up on the port and starboard sides of the foretop gallery with the radar. So you got a hole there and a hole there. That's where the radars are going to, or compasses are going to go. And the instructions for these, they show you want the protruding piece facing towards the sides of the ship. And I bumped that metal piece on the radar off, so I'm just putting some glue in to fix that. And I'm not going to lie, some pieces on this I've made a lot of minor repairs to as we've gone. And that's the second the second compass in. Alright, so next we need railings A4 and 5 from the photoreal sprue. A4 has that ladder on it, and A5 is just a railing. Okay, with A4, you're going to put two 90-degree bends in it at the indents on each side. So we're going to bring in my duck nose pliers, and we're going to clamp it right next to the bending area. And that's one side bent, so then we're just going to scoot it over. And using the flat side to get a nice even bend, we're going to bend this side. So that's A4. And with A5, we're going to punch it out and put two more bends in it, just like A4. And there's the second. So we're going to bring in the Admiral's Bridge again. And A5 with the short bend is going to, or with the short side, you can see where the short end is going to press up against that locker on the central mast, or whatever that's called. Whoops. And there we go. It's all, well, there we go. And now it's pegging in. I'm just going to hold it for a few seconds, but let the glue set. So then A4 is going to sit on top of the storage unit on the foretop command post by the radar. So you see the two pegs in the actual central section, so we're going to put glue in those peg holes. And you want to make sure the ladder's going down, because it'll block the radar if it's the other way. And then it just goes right into the two holes. Just that easy. So then the next part we need is B1. Now B1 and B2 are very similar. So I'm just checking the instructions to make sure I'm punching the right one. So this one is B2 on the right side. So what I'm doing is I'm just bending the sprue itself out of the way so I can wiggle it free. There's one side and two. And you want to be very careful you don't warp the part, Now I'm using that other piece to rest it, so it's a little easier to pick up off the mat. So there's 3 rectangular slots in the, I guess you'd say, the middle of the central mast. Or, no, I'm sorry, this is the conning tower. So, now this is difficult with my current setup to hold. So in future installments, I'm going to look at adding another camera. So then that's the first one in. And then B2 is going to go into the upper section. So then get the first one in, and as we line up the second, that's going to essentially make putting the third one in the most difficult, because you don't want it dragging around and scratching up the plastic. But there we go. So next we're going to get part B5. B5 is going to be on the starboard side of the conning tower in those 2 rectangular slots. And make sure it's in good and it's straight. And there we go. Okay, so next we're going to be punching out the ladder side and railing A1 and the ladder side and railing B3. Or I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. We're going to take the railings B4 and apply them into that spot. Now both of these railings are exactly the same, so it doesn't matter which railing goes where. And so we're just going to drop glue into these 2 small holes. And there's one. And there's the second. And so next we're going to be fitting the top of the superstructure, the foretop section, on there so we can see the rim and how that's going to fit together. So we're going to apply some glue to this rim here. Now this time I'm not being stingy because, you know, there's going to be a lot of, I'm not going to say weight, but, you know, but this section, you know, it's probably going to get bumped and tossed around a lot, and we don't want that coming loose. And I shouldn't even say it's going to be tossed around, but it'll probably get bumped as we're working. So we're going to feed the cord through, and it's going to fit together like so. So we're just going to jump ahead to where I have punched out the railings. Okay, so picking up from where I cut, this ladder assembly is going to go through that square slot and peg into the two holes on this deck below here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and put glue in these two peg holes. And we're going to take this ladder assembly that we made a few minutes ago. And so we're just going to slide it through that square slot. And I apologize, this was something that was going to be impossible to get on camera. Well, I shouldn't say impossible. Impossible with my current setup. And now I'm trying to show it. I'm using my tweezers to help slide it all the way into position. And there it is. So now I did things out of order. Essentially I built the two ladder rigs first so they could dry a little bit before installing them. So next we're going to take the upper part of the superstructure and mount it to the lower part. So I'm going to put glue into these two peg holes. You can see them right here and here. And then there's going to be two large pegs that insert in there. Okay, there was a huge cut right there, and honestly that is just because I had that much difficulty getting the upper superstructure deck onto the lower deck. Anyway, now that it's installed, we're going to put glue into those two holes, and our other ladder is going to peg in right there and attach right up there. There we go. And so then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to install some pipes on the back of the superstructure. Now there's 6 holes in the back, 2 for each pipe. So we got 2 pegs. They're going to go into 2 holes. And then the upper portion of that pipe is going to weave around to be up by the upper mast deck. So we get that pegged all the way in. And that's the first pipe. The second pipe is a small pipe that's going to go into the middle 2 holes and peg right into that, whatever that is there. So we're going to drop glue. I'm going to use my tweezers to line this one up. Push that one in. And then the final pipe is going to go into the 2 remaining holes on the right. And there we go. And with that, we have finished stage 47. That one was an unbelievable difficult one compared to everything we've done so far. Just getting that mast section in was awful. But next time in stage 48, we'll be putting some deck together. Thanks for watching.